Hi, my name is Mark Hefner. Welcome to the Johnstone Supply Training Center, and today we're going to talk about how to use the Cleveland Control Universal Pressure Switch. So this pressure switch is able to cover any pressure switches all the way from 0.10 inches of water column to 10 inches of water column. If you are replacing this in a system, you do need to know what the existing water column pressure was on the old pressure switch. If you don't have that information off of the old pressure switch, you might need to get the model and serial number from the existing unit and look up that information so you know what to calibrate this to. While this is a universal pressure switch, it does need to be calibrated to the correct pressure. To allow you to do that, this kit comes with 5 different springs that will allow you to reach anywhere, again, between 0.10 and 10 inches of water column. But it does require you to use a manometer to actually be able to measure that, and some way to measure continuity through it as well to ensure that it is closing the circuit or opening the circuit when it's supposed to. We're going to show how to do that with the field piece, but you could also do it with a standard manometer and a standard meter that can read continuity as well. Okay, so as far as setting up our field piece manometer here, this full kit that comes with the SDMN6 does have these wires that will plug in to the 2 ports on the back of the meter here. You'll also need to connect your orange hoses, one to the center here, which is labeled as pump, and another orange hose to the left side where it says P1. This kit will also come with the clear hose here that has a little T-junction on it. You'll connect both of those orange hoses onto the T-junction. And then you'll connect the end of the clear hose to your actual pressure switch. Again, if you want it to be a negative pressure to activate the switch, you'll connect it to the white side of the manometer. And if you want it to be a positive pressure, you would connect it to the black side of the manometer. For right now, we're going to go ahead and use the negative pressure side. So I'll connect it to the white tube here. Next, you'll need to know, again, how many inches of water column you're trying to achieve with the manometer. Right now, we're going to shoot for 1.5 inches of water column, which this yellow spring will help us achieve. So I will put that in the center hole. There's also a little cap, and a little Allen wrench that will help you screw that in. You just need to get this in right now. We're going to calibrate this later. The other thing you'll connect is the 2 wires from your actual pressure manometer. You're going to go to the common, which is labeled with a C, and the normally open end of the switch, which is labeled with an NO. So those are all the connections you need to calibrate your pressure switch. Now that we have everything hooked up with our manometer and our pressure switch here, we can go ahead and calibrate our actual pressure switch. So we're going to push test on this, and this manometer is going to do a little warm up for about 10 seconds here. We'll let it get through that. Once it finishes its warm up, it'll start giving us a reading, and we can actually adjust it until we get the inches of water column we want on this. So we'll give it a minute to stabilize here. Let's see where it goes. So right now it's showing 3.5. We're going to adjust it down to 1.5. Do know that if you bump your pressure switch or your manometer a lot, it will mess with your readings a little bit. It's actually pretty delicate. So there we go. There's 1.5. 1.4, 1.5 is going to float right about in there. So the next thing we're going to do is we're going to use our little Allen tool here to tighten the spring until we see the light come on that indicates that the circuit has closed for us. We're still going. There we go. So that indicates that our normally open switch has closed. We're sitting at 1.2 inches of water column right now. Let's go ahead and bring that back up just a little bit. We're looking for 1.5 here. I think that's probably as close as we get right there. Okay, 1.5. It's going to float between 1.5 and 1.6. So let's back it off a little bit and make sure it opens as well. There we go, it's opened again. We'll tighten this screw again. And there we go. So now our pressure switch is calibrated to the correct pressure. You can remove your little Allen key here. And the manual also mentions that if you want to make sure this pressure switch is really sealed, they actually say to use a hot glue gun to go ahead and seal that screw right there so you don't have any air leakage possible. So this has been an overview of how to set the Cleveland Controls universal pressure switch. For this and any other needs, come check us out at the Johnstone Supply Training Center, where you get real-world experience for your real-world career.